Hey guys, we're back. Same day, same outfit, same really cool person. Where is she? I don't know, but I'm here. So I got you guys. So today, this time, we have the student loan project. Still financial algebra. I think I'm gonna put this in a playlist called Financial Algebra. 4th period. In the Big 2-5. So, student loans. This is when we had to use the monthly payment formula a lot, so some of this is probably wrong, guys. This isn't informational. I'm not trying to teach you guys, like, anything. Oh god, I hope that volume was on. So I chose to go to a 4-year university, which is my current plan. Like, we try to make it realistic by choosing actual things we want to do. Name of institute. I chose Penn State. I did apply there. I'll let you guys know in a few months if I get accepted. If I don't, I'll jump off a bridge. I'm probably not gonna get in. But it's one of my top choices. Like UIUC, right? University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. That would be fantastic. I would love to go there. But if I got accepted into Penn State, I would go there. No questions asked. No questions asked. It's not really in the sense of the more prestigious, you could say, the university, the more I want to go there. It just so happens that the ones I want to go to the most are the best ones in general. And so I chose to pursue the bachelor's degree, and including room and board. It was really hard. I had so many tabs open and they were all crashing, and took so long to load, and I was like, what if I just lie? I didn't lie. Don't lie. That's bad, guys. So for the fall 2026 to 2027 school year, as a non-Pennsylvania resident, I live in Illinois. I don't think that considers a Pennsylvania resident at the University Park campus, which is also what I chose on Common App. Sorry, I'm making weird faces. Trying to burp. And as an undergraduate, freshman year, right, like a lot of things you have to consider, right? They don't just say $10,000. Obviously not. Obviously not. It would be $44,000, $574. I have $40 in my wallet right now. I have $44 in my wallet right now. But I'm getting this education whether or not anybody likes it or anybody can afford it. I'm getting no help from family members. And the cost of attendance, food, housing, books, assuming that I need all of that. And on campus, right? Living in dorm, everything without a dependent. It's going to be $10,000, $10,935. And so the full tuition, which includes all of the costs, is $55,000, $55,509. Help me. So you're saying my entire 4-year college tuition would be $220,000? PNC has a max of $75,000 on private loans. This better be subsidized, otherwise I'm working at Starbucks, I guess. 35 hours a week. And so, this is when we had to do the calculations. So the total cost, this is when I had to multiply by 4. But I separated. So I did the 55,509 times 2, because the tuition for freshman and sophomore, like all of the costs that I mentioned before, are the same. Could I have chosen a cheaper university to make this cheaper? Yeah, but would it have been realistic? Illinois State, like, what would the tuition be there? Like, if I chose UWLAX, University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, would it be $10,000 a year? Yeah, that sounds great. I deserve this. So it would be $111,018. I could pay that $18 right now. So, and then the other criteria depends on your individual college or major. So I just picked engineering other than science, like under their majors. So I had to pick a specific major. But I picked that because it cost more, just to like be sure, just check all the boxes. So then it would be $52,656, and then times 2 is 105, 312, and so including the housing and everything, the $10,935 is 21,000. It's 21,870, making the total for junior and senior year alone $127,182. At this point, just buy a house. Just buy a house. Just buy a house. Education should not cost as much. How much did it cost for Alexander Hamilton to go to college? I don't know. I think it was free. The only money that was involved was his community paying for him to get on a ship and get out of there. And that's valid, honestly. And so I said my total cost of tuition, including attendance, housing, food, etc. Food is important. For 4 years under the same criteria, undergraduate, my specific major, $238,200. Can we have a moment? Guys, you can pause if you need a moment. Oh my god. So, right after I made the student budgeting worksheet video, I don't know how to export that into my personal account, because right now it's on my school Google account. I don't know how to fix that without downloading it to a PDF, and then I don't know how you change that into a sheet. So just follow along, guys. Just follow along. And so then, well, this is a school assignment, so it's like you have 3 options to consider. That's great. That's great. What if I don't pay any of it? What if I go bankrupt? What if I die? Oh my god, wait. I think student loan debt is the only debt that does get passed on, right? Like if I die and have if I have children and die, is that right? I haven't played BitLife in like 5 years. So let's see. Oh, I get a 10-year federal unsubsidized. Oh yeah, and they say like 6-month grace period. Like I know what that is. So it's 5.5%, and I don't make any payments, and it is unsubsidized. That means, okay, so that means there is interest accruing at every month, for those of you who don't know, and I could pay it while I'm in college for the 4 years, but I don't have to pay it until 6 months after I graduate. So that's why in a lot of these situations you'll see 4.5 years in like the problems and stuff. So how much interest will be accrued? Subsidized is when the government pays the interest accruing over the 4 years, so you don't have to pay anything for the 4.5 years. Unsubsidized is when they're not paying for the interest, so you can let it build up. Would it only be, right, like $45 a month, $100 a month, right? But it adds up. Guys. So $58,000 basically will accrue. So I use the I equals PRT, right? So we have the principal is the $238,000 that I calculated. It was 5.5%, so that means 0.055, and then 4.5 for the 4 years in college for an undergraduate degree, plus the 5-year grace period. That's how much interest will accrue. So that's more than $10,000. That's like $12,000 a year, which means $1,000 a month. I can't pay $1,000 a month. And then the new principal would be that interest is added on to what you already have to pay. So then that's $297,000. Oh my god, at this point, I have to somehow become best friends with Taylor Swift. I have to have a sugar daddy. I have to start sleeping with Jeff Bezos. And then I had to use the monthly payment formula. I do believe this was correct. I believe most of this was correct. So you just plug it in, right? So it's like, it's the principal times the rate over 12 months. It's, look it up. And so I include all the decimals, and then I include my final answer. That's what bold. I'm very particular about this. So with a 5.5% interest, I don't pay the interest over 5.5 years. When I graduate, 6 months after I graduate, when I have to start paying my student loans month by month, it'll be $3,225. If you remember from the budgeting worksheet, if I'm a neurologist, assuming that I would somehow snag a highly wanted $77,000 a year job 6 months after graduation, and my monthly budget is $3,800, I can't have a car, I can't have a house, like, that's it. So this is, you know, without, like, very specific, like, plans that I can choose from, but barely anybody can pay off their student loans on a month-by-month basis with $3,200 a month. And because I decided to pay the interest later, added onto a new principal amount, that there's interest on top of the interest. It's called capital interest or something. Oh, shit. Sorry, I totally did not just swear. So that means when I multiply that by 120, because I have to pay it for 10 years, assuming that I am able to pay $3,200 a month for 10 years. Can you say unrealistic? Unrealistic. Times 12 months in a year, if you didn't know. So that's 120. I'm going to be paying $387,000 in 10 years. And so the principal amount I actually have to pay is $238,000. But I'm actually going to pay $387,000. I'm paying $150,000 more than I should be. That's ridiculous. Option 2. I'm trying to hurry. This is already 11 minutes long. I'm sorry, guys. This is same thing, 10-year unsubsidized, but it's 4.99% interest. So that's 0.6 less. And so I equals PRT. The entire interest is going to be $53,000. 53,000 plus $500 which is like, oh, what was that? That was like $5,000 less. Wow, that's so cheap. I did this in September, but I'm still going crazy about it, guys. And then if I pay it back during school, I won't have the interest. Like, if I pay the interest during school, I won't have that 53,000. I won't have the 53,000 once I graduate. I'll just have the regular 238,000 with, that's just tuition, right? Not interest. Using that monthly payment formula, I'll only have to pay $2,500 a month. Still not entirely doable by many people. Because if they can pay $2,500 a month, they're most likely not paying it themselves, right? Can you imagine having rich parents? Is this Gilmore Girls? And then including with what I explained about with the interest being like capitalized, except it's not this time because I paid off the interest with adding the principal amount, adding the monthly payment times 120 again, because it's 10 years still, it's $303,000, which is less, right? The whole option is less because it's less interest too. And so adding the interest from the 4 years plus basically the $303,000 minus, I don't know, this part was kind of confusing, minus all this, I'm actually paying $118,000 in interest, which is basically the same thing as before. So how much does a 0.6% in interest really do, even if you pay it over the 4.5 years? Third option, 10-year private loan. This is not a government loan. Remember, subsidizes when they pay the interest over the 4.5 years, unsubsidizes when they don't, but they pay the tuition. They just don't pay the interest, because obviously the interest is like different and unique for everybody, so they can't, obviously guarantee that they do that, even though they can. The government, government is a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of things. They have enough money. The United States of America government has enough money to theoretically cure world hunger and theoretically figure out how to lower tuition rates. There's no way that a college needs $250,000 per student. How many students go to Penn State? Even if you're thinking 10,000 at least, 10,000 times 250,000. It's just millions. You don't need that. So it's a private loan. Private loans have much higher interest rates, and this one seems to be double. This is 8.99%. Just make it 9% at this point. Just bend me over and fuck me in the ass now. I'm sorry if there's any future employers watching this. I mean, first of all, you probably understand my frustration, my enthusiasm to become passionate. But the rate will depend on your credit score. So in 4.5 years, I mean, after you graduate college, I will be 22 and a half years old. My credit score is probably going to be non-existent because I don't plan on opening a credit card during that time. So I won't have a credit score. Actually, well, I'll have a car, but I won't own the car. I'm not going to have a credit score. So the rate is probably going to be astronomical. But 8.99%. So put that into the monthly payment formula. That's $3,000 again. Why is that literally less than option 1, more than option 2? Because option 1 was like 30. Oh no, it wasn't. It was like $2,800, and then option 2 was $2,500, and this one's 3. So actually, this is the highest. So I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. I'm sorry. Total amount I will pay back. Can you read that number, guys? $361,000, basically $362,000. At this point, send me back into community college, am I right? Never. I know I'm supposed to have good thoughts on community college, but I don't. If my best friend went to community college, I wouldn't hate her for it, right? That's none of my business. I wouldn't consider her a loser. But if I went to community college, I would consider myself a loser. So tell me how that makes sense. And then how much interest I'll pay back? $65,000. Why is that astronomically less than the other options? See what I'm saying? Like, it is so hard to find the right way to pay back your student loans. So I say don't pay them back at all. I am morally okay with anybody committing tax fraud if it means they don't have to pay student loans. Sorry, I'm gonna get arrested for that. And so then this was me explaining like the differences in the options. Which option would I choose? I said I would choose to pay using option 2 because as I would be choosing to pay interest while I'm in college, because I would be choosing to pay interest while I'm in college, and it has the lowest monthly payments. Because if we're going on a month-by-month basis, we're just trying to survive, not thriving at all. It will be much more manageable. I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to pay $2,500 a month. As a full-time college student, I might have to sell myself. I hear kidneys are going for $30,000. As I will also be working during college and hopefully have some aid from my family as well, since a minimum wage job will certainly not be $2,500 a month. You're damn right. I don't know why I was trying to lie to my teacher. She's nice. I was lying by saying I'll have family aid. Even my rich family members could maybe give me like a couple thousand a year. My dad currently has $10 in his wallet. I don't know. Maybe my brother's onto something, selling drugs. Can I not stutter? With the option you chose, what is the monthly payment and how could that affect your monthly budget? So I think we're calling back to the monthly budget, guys. So I said the monthly payment for the option I chose, option 2, is $2,500. Paying this will severely and negatively affect my monthly budget, meaning that I will have to pour most likely all of my wages and money earned into paying it, which means we have rent, right? We've got rent, car insurance. Might have to drop that though, which is my current plan too. I'm getting a car in a couple months and I do not plan on paying insurance because I don't have a job. All I'm doing is driving 2 miles to school each day. What could possibly go wrong? You'll see me in the cast in next week's video. Does this calculation surprise you? What are some options you could look into to make sure that you are taking out less student loans? So this is where I basically have to like be sappy and be like, oh, I must plan better. I must go to a much less expensive school. But in reality, I don't care. Call me stupid, but when I have a impressive degree from an accredited prestigious university. My dad thinks I'm stupid for this, but on my college diploma with my name that I worked for, you ain't seeing a community college on there. You ain't seeing Northeastern, Western, Southern Kentucky Community University. I'm sorry. You ain't seeing some random ass, I don't know, University of Google. What? You're going to be seeing a major state university, a university of, like, you're going to be seeing a private institution, like, you're going to be seeing an Ivy League. I want to be proud of the name that's on my diploma, including the college name. So I said, while some calculations were certainly scary, they were not necessarily surprising. Other options I could consider besides many loans are seeing how much my family can contribute, most likely only a few thousand overall. That's pushing it. Grants, I'm currently eligible for around a $7,000 Pell Grant. It was the full amount. I think that's like $77,395. Scholarships, yeah, okay. I applied to 3 scholarships in June. I have school right now. The biggest scam is telling seniors in high school that they have to do all this. I have an English essay I'm supposed to be doing right now that was due a week ago. Scholarships and working during college to at least pay off debt ASAP. I do plan on working in college, and according to the FAFSA, I am eligible for a work-study program. Anyways, guys, that was my depressing conclusion for student loans. Oops. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.